Hi, I'm Wendy from ShinyHappyWorld.com. I've started to show you some of what are called fill stitches. These are embroidery stitches that you use to fill in a larger space. I showed you the satin stitch and a variation on the satin stitch, and what I'm going to do today is show you how to fill in an area with color but not stitching. We're going to use colored pencils and crayons. So I've got onto this fabric, and we're going to color it in with colored pencils. But first we're going to stabilize the fabric. If you've ever tried to write or draw on a piece of fabric, you know that it's kind of a nightmare because the fabric just shifts around and is really difficult to work with. So the first thing we're going to do is stabilize that fabric. And we're going to do that with a piece of freezer paper. Freezer paper you can buy in the grocery store. It should be right next to the aluminum foil and things. It's paper on one side and it's shiny, kind of plasticky on the other side. This is the greatest sewing tool ever. I'm going to flip my piece over. I'm going to lay this paper down on the fabric, and then I'm just going to hit it with an iron. And that makes that plasticky part stick to the fabric. And that is going to stabilize it enough so that it acts more like a piece of paper than like a piece of fabric. And now we're going to color on it. I'm going to slide a book under there because I'm working on my ironing board. And I'm going to show you a couple of different tools. You can color with just about any colored pencil. Will allow you to fill in those spaces. I've even got some weird twist up colored pencils, and those will work also. Just color that space in. You can even do fancy shading. You can even just use regular old crayons. If you use crayons, I'm going to show you, we're going to need to heat set them because that wax needs to get kind of sunk into the surface. So I just did a little bit of spot coloring there. Move that out of the way. And we're going to hit that, take just a plain, clean piece of paper, lay it on your work, and just hit it with the iron. And you'll see that the crayon, this will pick up a little bit of the wax, will come up on the paper, and that'll keep it from smudging while you're working with it. Now you could go in and you can stitch on all of your lines. So you can do outline stitching with embroidery, but use the colored pencils or the crayons for the fill stitching, and it gives a really nice effect. And the amazing thing about the freezer paper, once you're done, it peels right off and it doesn't leave any residue on the back of your fabric, and you can reuse the freezer paper even. So that's one or a quick and easy way to add larger areas of color to your embroidery without having to do a lot of time-consuming fill stitching. Color in the areas with a colored pencil or a crayon, and then just stitch the outlines like we've been doing a lot of outline stitching. I'm Wendy from ShinyHappyWorld.com. I'll see you next week.